Welcome back. In Chapter 3, Judy and Bruce tell us about the appeal and Supreme Court hearings. Tell us what happened in the appeal court, Judy.
Well, this was held in Wellington over 2 days. We didn't have to appear ourselves, but the lawyers did this for us, and this was before 3 judges, and we were very delighted with the outcome because we won against GE, as the loan was deemed to be oppressive. The Credit Contracts and Consumer Finance Act 2003 was adhered to. Now, this act says that no lender must lend money to people who are unable to pay it back. And as in our case, this loan is so oppressive that we'd be paying it back until we were 100 and 98 years respectively. They said in the findings, we declare that the loan agreements at issue in this case are oppressive within the Credit Contracts and Consumer Finance Act 2003.
After months of waiting, then came the Supreme Court hearing. What happened, Bruce?
The Supreme Court decision was rather stunning because we lost. It was overturned, it was reversed, and therefore we're obligated to be under the mercy of GE's lawyers now. And the interesting thing, it was the Supreme Court was held on the 20th and the 21st of October, and one of those days included our 49th wedding anniversary, which is the Jubilee year in the Jewish calendar when all property has to be returned back to its original owners. The stunning reality of the appeal court has put us in a position where everyone agrees that the bindings of that Supreme Court fall heavily on each and every one of the people that have become victims of the circumstances. However, my belief is that God in heaven, who is a judge over all, has the final say. He will decide whether we will give up our homes or they'll be returned back to us with interest.
The lawyer we had was deemed to be an independent lawyer, and apparently all of us, all the blue chip victims, used independent lawyers. But we're actually told, we have 2 forms on the fast stock declaration of financial position. It says you must use an independent legal advice before signing, which is what we did because we had the advice of Mr. Matthias, or he was supposed to give us the advice. And also the sale and purchase agreement of this unit we had in Auckland, that also said you must seek professional legal advice before signing, and that Mr. Matthias was our independent legal advisor. If it is not a good idea to get an independent lawyer, why isn't this common knowledge? Other people don't know this, and where would we find a non-independent lawyer? All the lawyers that we've spoken to are independent. Even our own lawyer, he said 99% of the lawyers are independent. So where would we all find a non-independent lawyer?
How clear is that? And then to lose in a Supreme Court because we did exactly what they said is just a miscarriage of justice.
It also, they said the loan was not oppressive, which to me, in the Supreme Court, they overturned that.
There's another implication in the decision that the Supreme Court have come to. They have accepted that documents are now able to be changed, altered, without your approval and yet become binding. Now, as a responsible New Zealander, I feel that this ought to be made known publicly, because anyone who signs a document, for instance, you might like to go and buy yourself a boat, and the man says, okay, I will agree on $3,000 for the boat. When you go to pick up the boat, there's no engine. And he said, well, we made agreement yesterday that you're going to buy the boat. But he said, there was an engine there yesterday. He said, yeah, but I took it off. He said, that's mine. You only bought the boat. But what he saw was the boat and the engine. Now, what difference is there? That was an alteration in the agreement that they made verbally the day before. This was written down, and now it's accepted that anyone can make an alteration. What about writing out a cheque and you say, oh, I put the date in wrong, so you change the date and you make an alteration? Well, it's binding on everything everyone does every day. So I urge people now to consider their legal status with any change to any document, that really, is it worthwhile signing or agreeing to, or somebody will put the acid on you and say you have to buy it because I've changed the documents, but that's not your responsibility, that's mine. After hearing the decision from the Supreme Court, it was really, really a sad state to see Judy crying constantly for days and days and days. She would not be comforted. She said, I feel so strongly for these people up and down this country, some with debts of 1.5 million. A lady up in Rawene whose husband had died only 10 days after signing the agreement when he was sick. Father, this is awful to think that these people, some have committed suicide. I know one man went back to Wales and he collapsed and he went straight to the intensive care when he got to Wales. He was worried about this whole thing. We've heard of people who've got ill, people who've died, people who've got sick, families have broken up, and there's no way out. But
Yes.
there is.
We were absolutely devastated when we heard we'd lost in the High Court, Supreme Court. And I felt, I know I wasn't responsible, but I really felt for all the people that were relying on our case. And I guess I'll take that with me to the day I die. I'll feel that I've let people down, I guess.
But you haven't let people down.
No, I know that's true, but it's still a burden that's there.
That's how you feel.
Mm.
The responsibility was given to us by Paul Dale, which we accepted because we felt that somebody had to stand up. We didn't know where we fitted into the number, but when we were selected, we were both quite happy to accept the challenge, and we believe we'll win.